It started off today with a wrecked race car in qualifying and ends in victory lane. What a day for hometown hero Daniel Suarez as the Xfinity Series returns to Mexico for the first time since 2008. Welcome back to the Breaking Bob channel. Hope y'all are doing well on this Saturday night. We've got a lot to get into as NASCAR has gone south of the border and everyone has finally made it down there after days of travel issues in the industry. We finally got cars on track Friday and now Xfinity on Saturday. And we've got a lot to get into, but of course, let's get down to business. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I am always talking NASCAR and racing on a daily basis here at Breaking Bob. You might as well click the button if you haven't already. And if you have, I do appreciate your support as always. But you're here for the NASCAR news, the racing content from Mexico today is the Xfinity Series takes the green flag first. And all eyes are on, of course, the hometown hero in Daniel Suarez. And it's a bumpy start for the Trackhouse driver driving for Junior Motorsports in the number 9 car today. Originally supposed to be SVG, by the way. And then Daniel Suarez jumps into that car a few weeks ago, announced it was. And pretty great story, all things considered, as he's the one that takes the checkered flag today, leading 19 laps, surviving a chaotic crash in one of the final restarts with about 20 to go. We've got just a lot to break down with Daniel Suarez winning, why it's big for him, Mexican motorsports overall. Let's just get into, though, how it happened. Suarez led 19 laps, but the final turn coming out of the stadium section, heading to the checkered flag, you had Taylor Gray, who caused Suarez some issues on that final restart, was really on the heels of Suarez the entire final 4 laps. On the final turn coming out of that stadium section, coming into the checkered flag, Gray sent it right to the bumper of Daniel Suarez and almost took him out. And could you imagine the scenes from Mexico City if Taylor Gray had taken out Daniel Suarez right there in front of his home fans? It would have been it would have been just riotous. It would have been a scene to behold. And I'm so glad, honestly, for all parties aside, that Taylor Gray didn't. For Taylor Gray's safety, for the 54 team safety overall, and for Daniel Suarez to get that moment, because it's no secret it's been a tough year for the Trackhouse driver. Of course, he's one of 3 drivers, 4 if you count Connor Zilisch, competing for the 3 seats next year in that Cup Series ride in 2026. 28th in points coming into the NASCAR Cup Series weekend. Suarez even admitted to the media this week that he's feeling the pressure. It's hard not to focus on that, but you've got to focus on the good things. And this is something that is so really warranted and a great feel-good story for all parties involved. Daniel Suarez winning in front of his home fans at Mexico. It's just big for him and the sport overall. And you might be thinking, that's a little bit overblown. It's an Xfinity race. It's a support series race. The main story is strong. And yes, you're not wrong about that. But you're building a sport in a series, or in an area that you haven't been with your support series since 2008. You've not brought NASCAR as a main series to Mexico at all before. You've got the face of the series as far as the Mexican driver that they marketed down there. He's done half a dozen media tours down there. I'm not saying he's the face of the NASCAR Cup Series, but down there, he is. Absolutely. He's a star in the Mexican motorsports world, and you're marketing him to run both these races. He comes out today in qualifying in that number 9 in the green Quaker State car, crashes that car, smashes the front end. They have to run a backup car, flat black car, throw some decals on it that kind of mirror what the primary car was supposed to go. That car wasn't ready but an hour or 2 before the race started. And Daniel Suarez goes out there, starts last, and is the first driver in any of the 3 NASCAR main national series to win at a road course, starting from very last, dead last in the field, and winning the race. That hasn't happened at any of the 3 NASCAR main series trucks, Xfinity, or Cup. That's a great sight. It's just a great feat already in and of itself. And I touched on his future with Trackhouse. Suarez definitely needed that confidence boost coming into the weekend. Of course, racing in front of your home fans, there's some nerves there, but it also gives you that added fuel, that added confidence, and then you get the seat time of the Xfinity race. You survive the carnage on lap 47, we'll get into in a second, but you're able to hold off then Taylor Gray late on a restart with 4 to go. You're able to win in front of your home fans, get that moment in that interview to celebrate, just to almost get that weight off your shoulders a little bit. And yes, it's an Xfinity race. It doesn't count toward your Cup Series, but it builds towards your confidence. And for a guy who's 28th, I believe it's 28th, right, in the Cup Series standings, I'll have to double check that. You need any kind of confidence boost you can get, and especially at a team like Trackhouse where you're expected to perform. You got Ross Chastain in the top 10. You got SVG on the pole for the Mexico Series Cup race tomorrow. You got to perform. You got Connor Zilisch waiting under the wings, closing in fast. Suarez is probably glad there wasn't another 5 laps or maybe Connor Zilisch would have been able to hunt him down. But alas, it's huge for Daniel Suarez building his confidence again in the future. And overall for Mexican motorsports and growing NASCAR as a whole, this is big. Again, it's Daniel Suarez, a name brand in Mexico, winning even in a support series way, the way he was able to do it, going from last to first. A lot of those fans hadn't been to a NASCAR race, or if they hadn't been in years, maybe since back in 08 when Kyle Busch took the checkered flag in the Xfinity race. This was pretty big for Mexican motorsports overall. They are a passionate fan base. They love their motorsports. You look at the stars that we know over here in America, Pato O'Ward, Checo. What do they have back behind them? Ravenous, passionate fan bases. Daniel Suarez is no exception to this. And you saw the reaction the crowd had when he was leading and he would go through the stadium section. He'd go through the front stretch with the big packed stands. You can't match that with any other guy. Taylor Gray winning today wouldn't have brought that same excitement, even though he is very due, by the way. I want to touch on Taylor Gray here in a little bit because he is due to win a race. But this today was about Daniel Suarez, Mexican motorsports as a whole. And tomorrow, maybe he doesn't win, but it's about Mexican motorsports as a whole as NASCAR grows on a global scale. They're in new markets, they're in new fan bases, and you see some people, oh, they should be at Richmond this weekend. They should be here, they should be there. Well, they're in Mexico, and the racing was really good today. So I think that all things considered, today was a massive, massive net positive for NASCAR and the Xfinity series as a whole. And I mentioned how Suarez survived the chaos that was on lap 47. Let's get into that because that was the main turning point in this race for sure. You had a restart on lap 47 with, I think it was 19 to go, 18 to go, 17 to go, whatever the math is there. I'm not great at math, you can tell. We have Connor Zilisch leading. I believe it's Ty Gibbs on his outside. And a few turns in, you have Daniel Suarez send it 3 wide. He ends up taking the lead, and then you have Ty Gibbs cut a tire. You have Connor Zilisch get taken out by Ty Gibbs. Carson Guapo gets spun going into some of the S's. 13 cars in total were affected. Daniel Suarez, though, made it through unscathed. He was the biggest winner of that whole interaction. And the biggest loser, 2 of them, the fastest cars on the day. Ty Gibbs, Connor Zilisch, the guys who were just seemed like stuck together, battling hard all day one another for the position to be the lead car when it all cycled out through the stage breaks. And just fascinating to watch those 2 battle. Younger drivers who are going to be in the sport a long time and very good equipment, I have a feeling there. Get used to it, folks. The battling there was fantastic. But those 2 were the biggest losers on that incident there. Ty Gibbs finished 14th. He was not able to overcome all of that. But Connor Zilisch, even with a just beaten and battered race car on both sides of the wheel, he was able to somehow pull a top 5, finished 5th at one point late in the race. He was the fastest car on track. I'm just saying, 5-10 more laps. Could Connor Zilisch have had something for Daniel Suarez? The JRM cars clearly had speed today. You had Carson Guapo winning stage 1, albeit on some different strategy. He stayed out, and he was leading really, or one of the fastest. He wasn't leading, but he was up at the front with Daniel Suarez when he got taken out in that lap 47 instance. So JRM definitely brought some speed today, and you saw Dale celebrate with Daniel Suarez there after he did the interview. You got to know Junior was extremely pleased at the speed that JRM brought today, and especially with them turning that backup car as fast as they did for Daniel Suarez. I believe they said on the broadcast that that was what Justin Allgaier ran at Chicago last year, so that car did have some speed in it. But to be able to turn it as fast as they did, impressive to say the least for JRM. Another notable moment late in stage 2, I think it was 3 to go. 3rd place driver Christopher Bell, who was running for Sam Hunt in the 24 entry. Mechanical issues. He brought his smoking car to pit road. NASCAR told him there's 2-3 laps to go on the stage. Stay in your car. We're going to keep it green. And Christopher Bell said, no, I'm out of here. And he got out of the car still. You got to wonder, maybe NASCAR will fine him for that potentially. They don't like to be gone against when they tell you something there for sure. And maybe they'll make an example of Christopher Bell even in the Xfinity series there. Christopher Bell, very frustrated. He made it clear that it was not him missing a shift. This was a pure mechanical issue on that 24 team. But one of those cars, it was definitely one of the faster cars race trim today for sure. Would have liked to seen what he would have had for some of those leaders there in stage 3. But alas, we'll never know. Some more overall results. We'll focus more on the top 10 today. Christian Eckes, 4th place. What a result for him in Kaulig Racing. It seems like they're slowly but steadily just building confidence in that 16 team today. And of course, we expect that 16 with AJ Allmendinger recently in the past in Kaulig to be competing on road courses. But Christian Eckes getting a top 5, that was a big result for them today. And people don't want to admit it, but William Sawalich finished sixth today. Everyone loves to pile on the rookie in the JGR 18. And of course, it has been a horrible start to his season. A lot of people think he's been rushed up the ladder too fast. But a sixth place finish nonetheless today. Big for him. You had Austin Green in seventh coming off his ARCA debut win a couple weeks ago. He seems to get in road course cars, no matter Xfinity trucks, and just get positive results. Top 10, top 15s. Another seventh place finish for Austin Green today. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a full-time ride if somebody could just give him a chance and some solid equipment just to see what he could do on a full-time basis. I wouldn't mind to see Austin Green show his capabilities, and I'm sure his fans wouldn't mind that either. And then seventh and eighth, you had the cousins Burton, Jeb, and Harrison there, respectively. Justin Allgaier, on the other hand, though, not a great result for him. 34th, just issues for the 7-team all day. A rare miss on the 7-car side today, and really tough for him probably with the fact that his JRN teammates were so fast. It just seems like they've squashed the field with speed this year. But the 7-team, a rare weekend where it just didn't align for them all the way. But overall, racing today from Mexico City, fantastic. If the Cup Series races like this tomorrow, we're in for a show, and we could expect that maybe Mexico City could be on the calendar. Maybe not consistently, but maybe semi-annually, because I know the travel issues maybe haven't been great. Maybe we give them a chance to have a week off or a little bit easier travel down there. But regardless, if this is what the racing produces, we need to go back there consistently for sure. I hope the Cup Series is like that tomorrow. We got Shane Van Gisbergen on the pole tomorrow for Trackhouse in that 90 or 88 team. I always want to say 91 with SVG. It's the 88 car, though, with SVG. But regardless of that, I'm excited for what the Cup Series will run tomorrow at Mexico. Dark horse favorite for me, I think, is Ty Gibbs. I've been kind of vocal about it. If you've asked me in comments on social media, I think Ty Gibbs might be the winner tomorrow. He might finally get that monkey off his back for his first win. But we'll see. A lot to break down, of course, from Mexico tomorrow. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel at Breaking Bob for more NASCAR content. Like this video if you like what you saw. It does help me out a ton. And of course, I do appreciate the support as always. Of course, stay tuned for more NASCAR content. I'll see you post-race tomorrow from Mexico. Well, here at the Breaking Bob studio. You get the point. I'll see you then.